And my video today is going to be me talking through some of the things that I've learned whilst owning a business for the last 7 years. Yeah, I'm going to do this while doing my makeup. Hey tribe, hope all is well. My name is Andree. If you haven't been here before, hi, welcome. I'm not a professional. If you want a professional, you need to go to a professional's page. This is just what I do with my makeup and to make it look somewhat nice every day. So let's get into it. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the One Size Secure the Sweat primer. You probably won't see this, so I will put it on the side of the video. I'm going to start off going straight into the video. One of the things that I've definitely learned since owning a business is that you cannot hire because you like somebody. So this is something that I learned, I want to say probably in the last 3 years. I mean, that can be the start. It definitely helps to work with people that you like. The staff and the people that I work with, I mean, because we work in such a small space, it is really helpful when we like each other. So I do have a whole team that I really like, but before having this team, yeah, there were others. And I'm just using the Pore Filter Pore Blurring Press Powder by the Beauty Crop, and I'm just going to powder my face the way Jackie Aina taught me. So you just need to work with people that you're kind of comfortable with, and I have found that the worst thing you can ever do is work with people because you just like them. They have to have the skills. Number 2, I have learned to be patient with myself. I don't know, there was a point where I felt like I just wasn't living up. It felt at the time like everyone else was doing bits, and quickly I realized comparing yourself to people you don't know, people you don't, mingle with, it's just not the way to go. You're never gonna get anywhere by that. And what we knew, that we're just sharing things online about themselves, and it made me quite angry. I got quite angry with myself because I thought, why are you even thinking like that? You don't know these people's struggles. You don't know what they've been through. You have absolutely no idea their journey, about their journey, nothing. Just like they have no idea about your journey. So you need to get out of that, and you just need to mind your front, and maybe find people that you can speak with. And I feel like the hairdressing world, for me, this is just my perspective, I feel like it's quite a lonely place, especially like being in the UK. I don't think many people are very open. It doesn't always feel like it's such a friendly vibe. It feels like there's a secret competition going on. I don't love it. So because of that, I did feel quite lonely at times. But now I've got my confidence back, especially like during COVID. It gave me time to like self-reflect, and I just thought, what the hell am I worried for? Let me just rest. Let me rest. And so I did, and I stopped worrying about things that I had no control over, and I fell back in love with what I did. I fell back in love with the shop, and it's kind of just been a lot easier since. I'm going to use the One Size powder, and I'm just going to gently dab under my eye and kind of set that corrector all over sort of my face before I go ahead and I put on my other concealer. I don't wear foundation, guys, so this is going to be a short video. The third thing that I learned is to have foundation. When I started my business, I had all these amazing ideas. I was going to do this, I was going to do that. I realized is as your business grows, you need to keep growing with that. So your business plan needs to evolve and expand. Things change. You have to move with the time. So if there's a new technique, you kind of have to keep practicing. You have to make sure that the people that you work with also are elevated and doing the things that they need to do. So one way that I learned to do that is to do at least 1 to 2 trainings per person per year. Whether I just use the Born This Way chestnut, which is like, it's just brightens up my under eye. I'm just going to use a little bit of chestnut by Bobbi Brown, just to, because I don't use foundation, I just use a little bit of this to help cover up any blemishes or just smooth out my skin, and I think it really helps, and I'm not going to let that sit. Again, piggybacking off of the other point, I had to learn to actually go out, get information, learn new things, be inquisitive, be all of those things, and then come back and not necessarily put my own twist to it, but when I learn something, I then learn it, but then when I'm doing it, I like to add my own razzmatazz to it. Just a little razzmatazz. Just because we're all different, we have our way of doing things, and whoever's teaching you has also added their own little razzmatazz or sprinkle dinkle to it, and then they've taught it to you. But a lot of these classes that I go to are based on European hair. So when I come home from those classes or whatever, I then have to apply it to my knowledge to Afro hair, and I then have to apply it to how we use our products. So a lot of the time I have to break down what I've learned, sort of like write it all down, and then see how I can apply it and how it can be of use to that of Afro hair. So because when I was learning, a lot of the time there were not as many classes held by Afro-Caribbeans and people who specialize in Afro hair. It's always been the Vidal Sassoons, the Hobbs, the Tony and guys, and it was not Afro, you know, teachers. These were people, and then I would ask, how would I apply this to black hair? Like how? And a lot of the time some people didn't have those answers, so then I had to apply the cutting skills. Super duper easy, but it was more about the product placement. How do I get flowy hair? How do I get this? So a lot of the time when I was taking away that information, I then had to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, this is how it's applied to Afro hair. So I'm just going to blend it out with my Joy Adenuga brush. I think it's a 002. And like I said, guys, I'm just going to blend out the edges because I find that that just makes it look less harsh. The blending queens out there know what to do, but a lot of the time I've only got about 10 minutes in the morning to do my makeup, so I'm taking my time here today because I'm not rushing. So I'm going to let that set for a little bit. Another thing that I've learned is to be patient. Yeah, everyone says this one, but no one says how. How do I stay patient? Being patient is like a 360. I'm a patient person, so I've got that foundation, but being patient with people, being patient with people, being patient with customers, just being patient, and accepting that people don't know everything. I think that was something that I've learned over the years. I've been doing hairdressing for a really long time now, so I know that there's a lot of information that's not out there for clients, for guests. So a lot of the time I assume most people know nothing. I think that's just really helped me. By assuming that most people know nothing and giving them that information, I'm realizing that guests and clients, they learn so much for their appointments, and they're really appreciative of what they learn, because you've kind of, and I'm going to use quotes here because I'm not calling anyone dumb, but you've kind of dumbed it down for them to understand and break it down for them. I've learned that by giving all the information that you possibly can, it actually gives clients a choice, and it makes them feel like they're a part of the decision that's made, because they've chosen you to do their hair, and now you've given them this information. And I feel like that's what keeps people coming back, by having this feeling of infinite information being given to them. They feel like because it's been explained to them so well, they're able to come back because it builds trust. When I opened the salon, I really just wanted to have I used to do hair in my house, like after work, and my clients and I used to kick it. And when I say kick it, it was like a jamming session. We used to just chill. We used to just chill and crack joke, watch TV, one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, we just used to have chit chats, and it just felt so relaxed. And I remember thinking, God, I wonder if I had a salon, if it can be just like this, like the size of my bedroom, maybe just slightly bigger, because I wanted it to feel homely and all of that stuff. But then once I open that space, other things obviously come to mind, and you're just like, I want this for my clients, I want this for my clients, I want this for my clients. And one of the things I realized is people like information. A lot of the time it can feel like a lot, but people like information. Patience is key, because you have to have patience to give information, because you have to kind of write it all down and all of that jazz. Which leads me to number 6. If you do not love what you are doing, it will show. I spent the better part of the first 3 years complaining about having a salon. I really complained, you know, but for me it felt like I was giving out information. I was being real, and to stick up for myself, I was being real. It's definitely hard. And one of the things I dislike in this world is when people sugarcoat over things that are very difficult. I do not sugarcoat over giving birth to kids and how difficult it is. I do not lie or make it seem like having a business is super easy. But one thing I definitely have learned is, when you resent something, when you feel like you've been, I don't know, hard done by, it's harder. It's definitely harder. I am now at a place, and I'm going to let you in on a secret. During COVID, I thought long and hard about giving up that salon. I thought, oh, this is a good time. It's a good time to escape, you know. This is a good time to escape. Let me close this place and say that we just couldn't afford it. Like, that thought went through my mind loads of times. And I was pregnant. I really wanted to close that place down, because it was just a lot. I did resent the business a lot. I felt like it took my freedom. So I had to fall back in love with it. And that COVID break really made me really look at what I wanted. Look at what do you want, Marie? Like, what do you actually want? Do you want this place? Do you not want this place? If you don't want this place, it's a good time to shut it down. If you do want this place, you have to be better. You just have to be better. I don't know whether people noticed, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I just wasn't feeling it a lot of the time, you know. And I really wanted to be better for my clients. I really wanted to, yeah, I just wanted it to be better. And after having several talks with myself during that period, I feel like I came out on the other side. And even when I have low moments, when I'm feeling like, oh God, this is not working out the way I want to, because that little ignition, or whatever you want to call it, that little passion and that resentment is gone, honestly, everything's so much better. Yeah, I just let go. I just let go. And because I let go, it, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Another thing that I want to point out is pay the bills. Pay the bills on time, or pay them as you can. Don't delay payment. And also, if be on top of all your direct debits and stuff like that, because you just need to know where you're spending your money. But some of it just did not make any sense, and I was like, what am I paying for? And I was spending so much money on random things that were just taking direct debits. But now I literally closed everything and kept the essentials and built on that, and that just really made things work for me. I don't know what number I'm on, guys. I'm also going to quickly have a little break and talk about this beautiful palette. Look how beaten up it is. This, I've had this, and I don't know why it looks like it does. But this is my favourite bronzer. It's the Glamour Bronze by Face and Bronzy Bronzer by Morphe Prodigy. It is one of the best bronzers ever. And it's been discontinued, and I don't know what I'm going to do because this is my last one. I'm going to set under my eyes again, this time using a slightly lighter powder. Sometimes I feel like this can give you a cakey feel, so you can skip this step. But also I alternate between the Pat McGrath Labs MD25 or the Born This Way Chestnut. These are the, like, I prefer the Pat McGrath because I feel like it's a lot more moisturising under my eye, but I love the brightness of this one, so sometimes I mix the two together, or sometimes I use it standalone. Depends what I'm doing. The flavour of the day was Born This Way, but just wanted to let you know that I also use that. I am going to use the SPF by Paul Mitchell on my cheeks, like just above here, and then I'm going to bronze. Another thing that I've learned is that you need to care about your job, like especially when you're trading. I'm in the trading industry, and I have found that if like, people are intuitive, they know when you're not feeling it, I find anyway. So I always say to people, if you care about it, it shows. And one thing about me is I may not have cared so much about the place. My focus has always been the job. I care about people, I care about their hair. I'm a cheesy person in the sense of, like, I want to make people hair happy, all of that doing jazz. Like, I truly care about it. Once I could afford it, one of the first things that I did is get people that could alleviate the things that I cared less about, so that I could get on with the thing that I cared about the most. And truly, it has changed. It has changed the job for me. It has changed the job for me. I have felt better about working at the salon. It hasn't felt, because I feel like the resentment came because even though I knew I was going to have to do all of those things, I didn't want to do it. Like, I truly didn't want to do it. It really annoyed me that I had to keep on doing it. So yeah, so one of the things I definitely recommend, if you can, outsource. And by outsourcing, I mean if you can hire people to do the things that you don't want to do, get your little money together and hire it out. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Get yourself an assistant if you can, and it will make your job so much easier. I'm using a little bit of my bronzer Prodigy by Morphe, which doesn't exist anymore, on my lid. And no, I do not put any concealer or base. This is just everyday work makeup. This is what I do to go to work every day, so expect less. So even though you might not be able to see it, it gives a difference. I have what I call like a slight smoky eye, natural eye. A lot of the time people ask me what have I got on my lid, and I don't. It's just my little raccoon eyes, my panda eyes. But I've grown to appreciate it, so I just add the bronzer on top and I feel like it warms up my eye. So I just place that on there, just pat it on in circular motion. And then I just lightly dust it under my eye. I'm blind, so I don't want to get it. I don't want to get the makeup on my contacts on my eyes, so I just lightly dust and pull it out a little bit. I think that looks okay. And then I'm going to go in with the SPF. I think I put too much because this really shows. So I normally sort of buff out the brush on my hand. I don't know why I do this. There's no reason, but this is what I do. And then once I've done that, then I sort of like buff it into my skin and go up don't know if I put enough. Another thing that I've learned is be consistent. Be consistent in your journey. Be consistent in everything. The thing about, and I learned this when I had kids, like my kids, they will grow. They grow, they learn, they continue on and become little people, then they grow up to be adults, whatever, just like we did. A business does not do that. Without a good foundation and things to follow, steps to follow, and without the right people in your business, it could go downhill any moment. So you need to be consistent. You need to keep retraining. You need to keep reinforcing the laws of the place. And if it is changing, let it evolve in a positive way. Let people be able to come back and say that they can see that you're pouring into your business. I can definitely say that I've had ups and downs. Like, there were definitely times when there were dips, especially when I blew up on TikTok. I felt overwhelmed a lot of the time, and I found that because I was trying to please everyone, because there were so many people who wanted their hair done, I was trying to please everyone. Because of that, I lost sight of what my initial goal was, and it just ended up being awful. And once I stepped back and I said, we're not doing any more of that. I'm not trying to please everyone. I'm going to stick to my goal. Because guess what? That's what people come here for. So let me just stick to what I know. Let me stick to what I do. And the people that need to be here will be here, because this waiting around, it's not working. Just going in with my bronzer now. So after doing that, I felt like the business actually picked back up. And I'm sticking to my guns. I always want to deliver like a good service to people. So I felt really, really crushed when I wasn't able to. I'm using the Trendsetter lip liner. You can see that I use this a lot. Great match on the colour as well. So yeah, I just felt like so disappointed, and I decided to go back to what worked for me. And then after that, it was all about being consistent. Overall, the one thing that I always get back as feedback is that we are consistent. I'm using Milani's 130 Iconic. Like, you can teach whilst being nice. You can be nice to people to get the results that you want. In fact, I find that being nice to people has always got me what I wanted out of them. I think I'm all done with my makeup. This is what it looks like. And I either use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, or I use the One Side Until Dawn. These are the two that I mess with. I also use the Urban Decay, but I don't have that right now. So I'm just going to shake this and spray it on my face. The bronzer is what sets my look. For you guys that think that I wear foundation, for you guys that think that the makeup is nice, it's the bronzer. So someone tell me what I'm going to do now that the bronzer is gone. Someone tell me what I'm going to do. I don't know. But the bronzer is what sets my look. So now I'm going to look out for a bronzer that has can you see what it does? Can you see what it does to my face? It has a nice sort of chocolatey with a tiny bit of reddy in it. It's perfect. It's perfect. And I have tried, because I knew it was discontinued, I have tried a lot of different ones, and they just do not have that mix. I'm now going to spray this. I love this because it really just sets your makeup. I also haven't put anything under my eyebrow, just because it literally just got waxed the other day, so I don't feel like I need to put anything under it. And because of the bronzer and underneath my eyebrows have a like bit of a yellow undertone to them, so sometimes when I've done it, when I've freshly done it, it looks like I put something underneath it. You can agree, you don't have to agree. This is a quick 10-minute look. And if I'm feeling it, I might just put, oh god, white in the crease of my eye, because especially for work, I don't wear mascara. Sometimes when I do this, I then put a little brown pencil just underneath it so that it looks like I've put like a brown mascara on, but I haven't. And it also kind of sets it a little bit. It just makes my eyes pop. I do like the way that makes my eyes look. Just gonna take out this bun. This is the overall look. This is my quick face, even though it took me a really long time to talk about this face, but on a day-to-day it takes me 10 minutes. 10 minutes max. But today it took me half an hour. So, you know, do with that what you will. So before I go, I just want to say, if you have a business idea, you have a business, you want to do anything, just go for it. The entrepreneur life, the business owner life is not an easy one. It's tiring, it's tedious, it's all of the things. But one thing it definitely has taught me is that I can do it. And you need a team. Depending on what you're doing, you need a team, and you need a good team. Know how to pick well, trust your instincts, and go with what works for you. Try not to let voices inside your head telling you to do things the way they will do it. If they're not already doing it, trust your gut. It has to be the way you do it, and stay informed. That little nugget of piece of advice has really saved me a lot of times. Be confident in yourself, take the chance, and the worst thing that can happen is that you fail, but when you fail, you learn. I even failed at something last week, but when I fail now, I just get back up and go again, and it feels good to know that nothing and no one can stop me, and I'm doing the things that makes me happy. It makes me feel more in control of my life, and I know that I am in the right direction at the right time. So I hope that this video has helped, and it would be lovely to know what you guys also have learned through your businesses, or having a business, or failing, whatever. I want to hear all about it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.